Alright.
Say, oh yeah.
Ah, yeah.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? I gotta believe. Well, this is embarrassing. So, ever played Parappa before? It's this really cute rhythm game from the late 1990s. You may actually remember Parappa from the memes that spawned near the end of 2021, but I've yet to see anyone really talk about how good his game is in length. And well, since I seem to come back to this game every summer now, I thought, as a Parappa expert, I could talk about it a bit. So, Parappa the Rapper was made in 1996 by the Japanese developer Whatcha. I hope I got that right. And published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was spearheaded by developer Masaya Matsuura, who really only made rhythm games, in collaboration with the artist Rodney Greenblatt, who Sony commissioned for his unique, funky art style. Rodney was also generally pretty mad with the direction Sony took Parappa, especially the direction they used for the anime. But regardless, Parappa the Rapper and its sequel, Parappa the Rapper 2, turned out to be great funky little games. But why? Well, personally, I think the charm is the main reason the games are so good. I mean, a little dog rapping is already pretty charming, but it's so much more than that. The art style, the story, the awful PS2-ass voice acting, all of these contribute to making Parappa incredibly charming. So you know what? I'm gonna explain why in excruciating detail, because damn it, someone has to! First off, the art style. Parappa has an insanely unique art style, with all the characters being paper flat. Yeah! This is actually where Parappa's name is derived from. It's a play on the words flat and paper thin in Japanese, because the art style is flat and paper thin. The relatively simple shapes and flat saturated colors make a whimsical and distinct art style that's really fun to get immersed in. Not so much in 2, but especially in 1, the variety of colors and drawings in the background scream fun and wacky. But 2 compensates for its lack of wacky colors by greatly expanding the sets for each stage. For example, in Parappa 1 Stage 1, you spend the entirety of it in a brightly colored dojo, standing in the same spot, doing the same kicks and punches. But in Parappa 2 Stage 1, the entire room moves and jives to the music as Parappa moves around to burn. So, while 1's color choice is definitely better, 2's sense of life and sheer groove in the levels is worth the trade. Not to mention all the weird random crap everywhere, like the ninjas in Stage 2, Joe in the hot tub in Stage 4, or even the unexplained PJ DJ appearance in Stage 7. But one of my favorite parts is the character design. While Parappa and his friends' designs are mostly simple, a dog with a shirt or a cat with a shirt, the teachers are absolutely perfect. Cheep Cheep is a chicken that stars on a cooking show, Takayama is an octopus that cuts hair, and Sister Musasia is a moose that teaches soldiers in the army. Just look at these designs. Takayama's hair is actually his 8 tentacles. Musasia has the best fit in the series with the soldier uniform paired with that amazing tutu, which is the weirdest but also coolest pairing I've ever seen. And Cheep Cheep is a chicken. And she bakes cakes. And cakes have eggs in them. And where do eggs come from? Chickens. How does she get the eggs? And the Beard Burger Master. Teach me your ways! Who is a ghost that cooks burgers. The look of this game is wacky as hell, but it's only because it's wacky as hell that it's so damn charming. So thanks, Rodney Greenblatt. Next up, gameplay. Parappa is one of those easy to learn, hard to master games. And while I know that sounds really stupid because it's a rhythm game, I'm not lying when I say that cool mode is genuinely difficult to achieve, but we'll leave that for later. As Parappa the Rapper, your job is to copy whatever fat bars the teacher spits at you with proper timing. If you mess up, you go down a level on the rating meter. While this may sound like a certain game on Newgrounds that spawned a vast modding community, I assure you, Parappa did it first and better. To pass the stage, you need to rap at least good, and rapping properly on worse levels of the meter will return you back to the good level. While Parappa 1 is a pain in the butt sometimes with its crappy, unresponsive hit registration, Parappa 2 is way better in that respect. But where it gets really fun is in the freestyling. While you can just copy the teachers, you can also just hit random buttons to make your own groove. But why do all this freestyling? Well, because if you freestyle nicely, you'll reach the elusive cool mode, where the teacher leaves you and you rap all on your own. While cool mode in itself is pretty easy to maintain, getting there is a huge ordeal, with the criteria to getting cool mode being tied to those silly little meters on the bottom. These 3 meters measure your obedience, freestyle, and funk respectively, and all 3 need to be adhered to when trying to get cool mode. Obedience is how closely you follow your teacher, which is exactly what you don't want to do. The closer you follow the teacher, the less chance you have of being able to get cool mode. So avoid copying them either by pressing different buttons or using the left directional pad to make Parappa say different words, which actually counts towards disobedience. How cool. Freestyle is your word choice. If you can press more than one button in a line, do that and try not to copy your instructor. And finally, funk is timing. Make sure you're on beat, but once again, not following the instructor. And if you do well on all 3, boom, you get halfway to cool mode. As if doing 1 line coolly wasn't hard enough, you have to do 2 in a row to get cool mode. Luckily, since freestyling is fun in general, the experience of getting cool mode isn't super tedious or anything. Having such a hard mode may not seem very charming, but it's super fun, and when a game is fun and charming, it's really all you can ask for. When I went through my first run of cool mode, it was so fun that I did it again. But really, that was all thanks to the music. Nice segue, huh? Fun fact, segue is spelled S-E-G-U-E. Anyways, oh my gosh, the music in this game is so damn funky. If you've been paying attention, you'll have noticed I've been using it throughout the video, and it's so good. Even as I wrote this script, I was listening to the OST, along with some other things. But goddamn, this soundtrack is fire. From the opening title song to the crappy movie MV, Come a Long Way, every single one of these songs has a straight vibe. Originally, I was gonna talk about my opinions on each song from the second game, but that kinda ended up taking up 50% of the original video's runtime, so I'll try and summarize a bit. Each song from the entire series is unique, with them each having their own sense of style matched by their instruments. For example, the rinky piano for Instructor Mussolini's car rap, the smooth and sexy sax for Cheap Cheap's cooking rap, or even the funky synth horns of Hair Scare. The actual rap lyrics are cheesy and goofy, sometimes with some innuendos, but most of all, fun. Parappa's music is so important to its charm. While it'd probably still be a nice little game if the songs were bad, the fact that the songs are good propels it into a work of art. What the game is aiming for is its main charm. Parappa is supposed to be a cool dog, back in the era where beats were fat and skateboards were radical. And although Parappa fails at being cool, I find that incredibly charming. It's kind of like a kid trying to be an adult and drink coffee or something only to hate the bitter taste. But while these ideas are spread throughout the songs, they're fully realized and contained in the story. I'm on a roll. Parappa 1's story is relatively simple. Parappa just does a ton of things to win over the girls he likes, Sunny Funny. But if you couldn't tell from the Parappa 2 footage and lyrics, Parappa 2's story is insane. So, first off, Parappa wins a coupon for infinite noodles, so he gets sick of eating noodles and runs away from the noodle dinner that Sunny Funny made him. He then goes to a burger shop, but the burgers have noodles in them, and Parappa doesn't want noodles, so the spirit of the previous dead owner of the burger shop comes to Parappa and teaches him how to make a burger. Then Parappa goes home and watches a romantic karate video featuring Chop Chop Master Onion, thinking it'll make him more adult, after which he gets shrunk to the size of an ant, where the ant helps him get back to his normal size. Then Parappa enlists in the army, where he trains under his sister Musasia, after which his first mission is to save hostages at a hair salon, where he de-escalates the situation by cutting random people people's hair with scissors until Takayama stops going crazy. Then Parappa uses the shrink ray to make a denoodleizer to stop the noodle army from turning the world into noodles. But first Parappa has to beat a game for the denoodleizer to work. After beating the game, World War Noodle occurs and our gang discovers all the tanks are actually robots. So they follow the cords all the way to Colonel Noodle's base of operations, where Parappa teaches Colonel Noodle that other foods are fine too, and then it's revealed that Sunny Funny saw Parappa's entire adventure, and even though Parappa feels like he never really grew up, he was man enough already. And then they celebrate with huge party. And while that story seems insane, it's actually really sweet. As a young person, trademark, for some reason there's this innate desire to grow up and become more adult. Especially in high school, everyone's in one big race to see who's the most grown up, who can dress the most grown up, who can have a grown up relationship, who can do grown up things like drink and smoke. But they forget that by doing these grown up things, you miss out on the childish part of your life. Playing games, making friends, and really enjoying your time is more important than pretending to be grown up. You can try all you want, but the real grown-ups won't respect you anyways. So, like Parappa, you gotta believe in yourself. Believe that you can be yourself. Believe that you can have fun. Believe that what people think of you doesn't matter. Everyone wants to grow up, but they never actually stop and think if they should grow up. Personally, I don't ever want to grow up. Grown-ups are depressed and have to worry about taxes, so I'm okay just having my own fun. Well, that was a pretty heavy theme for a kid's game starring Rap Dog, but I think it's important to note when talking about its charm. At the core of it all is a genuinely sweet theme, and that's where a majority of its charm comes from. Its genuineness. It's very easy to tell that Parappa was made with love and care, and that love and care is showered onto the player. In an era of heartless creations like Sonic Forces, Everybody 1-2 Switch, and Overwatch 2, something like Parappa's very unlikely to happen again unless from an indie developer. But I'll always be hoping for Parappa the Rapper 3. Even though Mr. Greenblatt himself said there's no plans for another game, I'll keep hoping. Even though Sony's too busy with Spider-Man and God of War, I'll keep hoping. Even though the world is probably too cynical and edgy now to like something like Parappa again, I'll keep hoping. Because, like Parappa, I gotta believe. And that's it. That's the end of the video. Uh-huh. Am I forgetting something? Let's see. I talked about Parappa. I talked about Parappa. Oh crap! Hey y'all, Super P4 here!